Open letter to our leaders in Washington. I am writing to ask for your support in acting vigorously against the proposed legislation Senator Feinstein intends to offer when Congress reconvenes in the next few days. As you know, in its previous form, the so-called assault weapons ban did little to nothing to curb gun violence, and it did nothing to address the core issues, those being mental health, education, and the socioeconomics that impact our society and violence. I am a law-abiding citizen that enjoys shooting sports in all its forms. I, along with millions of other legal firearm owners in this country, abhor gun violence. And we want viable, consistent measures on many fronts to continue the downward trend in the violent crime our country is experiencing. Contrary to current perception, violent crime, according to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, is declining. I quote, "When considering 5- and 10-year trends, the 2011 estimated violent crime total was 15.4% below the 2007 level and 15.5% below the 2002 level," end quote. Additionally, the most recent National Institute of Justice research on gun crime cites that homicides committed with firearms declined by 41% over a 12-year period, with the overwhelming majority being perpetrated through users of handguns, not so-called assault weapons. I want to be very clear. Despite the continued decline in overall violent crime and gun homicides, I want effective measures that will help deter horrific events, such as the recent Newtown, Connecticut massacre. However, I have no interest in pursuit of legislation that has little to no effect on addressing the core issues associated with those types of crimes. Which brings me to the proposed legislation being put forth to you by Senator Feinstein and others. The bill, as it is presented by Senator Feinstein on her website, is an enhanced version of her previously enacted legislation, the so-called assault weapon ban of 1994. This legislation, as you know, was put into effect in 1994 and subsequently allowed to lapse in 2004. During the ban, certain types of semi-automatic firearms that exhibited particular cosmetic features were banned from manufacture. Additionally, magazine capacities of over 10 rounds were prohibited under the same criteria. The firearms, in function, were and are no different than any other semi-automatic firearm used for hunting, sporting, or personal protection. They fire 1 round per squeeze of the trigger. However, they were and continue to be represented to the public as military-style assault weapons. As you well know, our military uses select fire weapons. Select fire can be fired in fully automatic mode, meaning that as long as you hold the trigger down, the weapon will continue to fire rounds until the trigger is released or the magazine is empty. These firearms are and have been tightly controlled and regulated by the National Firearm Act of 1934 and have not been used in mass shootings at the forefront of our national conversation. The previous ban proved to have little to no effect on crime. A 2004 critical review of research on firearms by a National Research Council panel noted that academic studies of the assault weapon ban, quote, did not reveal any clear impact on gun violence, end quote, and noted, quote, due to the fact that relative rarity with which banned guns were used in crimes before the ban, the maximum potential effect of ban on gun violence outcomes would be very small, end quote. Additionally, in 2004, a research report submitted to the United States Department of Justice and the National Institute of Justice found that should the ban be renewed, its effects on gun violence would likely be small, and perhaps too small to even be reliably measured. Because rifles in general, including rifles referred to as assault rifles or assault weapons, are rarely used in gun crime. Having said that, I want to mitigate the risk of any type of gun crime occurring. I want meaningful efforts employed that will deal with the core issues, again, mental health, education, and the socioeconomic impacts that creates gun crime. I want a comprehensive effort that addresses the root cause. A renewed assault weapons ban will not stop mentally ill people from obtaining firearms and committing heinous acts. It didn't work last time. Remember, Columbine and other mass shootings happened after the assault weapon ban was put into effect. Based on the evidence, there is nothing to support the notion that a renewed ban will change the behavior of individuals who are committed to perpetrating evil. I want action that will reclaim our responsibility as citizens to support the overall mental health system and the well-being of our society. This is an undertaking of tremendous magnitude, and it's far from expedient. It requires the commitment of each of us as citizens and you as our representatives in D.C. As my representative, I implore you to not do the politically expedient thing. Re-engaging this latest iteration of a failed so-called assault weapon ban is providing opiate to the masses and perpetrating a fraud. I'll go so far to say as it's dangerous. It will make Americans feel safer when in fact it's been proven they will not, nor will they be safer. I trust you know the facts in this divisive issue and will participate in the tough conversations around improving the mental health and education of our citizens, which provides the means to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I am, as a law-abiding citizen, gun owner, part of the solution. I will educate, participate, and lead in meaningful legislation to reduce gun crimes. Your willingness to accept and read this letter and represent me accordingly is a testament to a form of government I cherish and believe in. I am an optimist. I believe we have opportunities in this country that are second to none. Thank you for letting me be part of the solution on this issue. Let me know what I can do personally to assist you in defeating political expedients and instead providing meaningful leadership in addressing these important concerns. Thank you.